So it's a real pleasure to be back here at Monaco House here today, at Monaco Day at Davos. And this panel, I think, is going to be is one that I've been really looking forward to. We had a chance to talk last week prior, and I think what they're going to share and the information they're going to share is vitally important. So today's topic, we're going to talk about the collaboration for the intelligent age of Monaco, and Monaco as a key hub for global investors and entrepreneurs. Gentlemen, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, and then we'll get into some questions.
Okay, so thank you. So my name is Robert Laure. I'm the president of the association, Monegasque Association of the Financial Activities. And I'm here in Davos to talk about the Principality of Monaco and all the attractivity of the activity and the financial activity specifically that we can offer for the people.
Okay, let me start off first because he represents an official body. I'm just a businessman. Okay, so I'm just talking here today as an investor and a businessman. As I said before, for those of you who are here, about 20 years ago, I bought a small business in Monaco. The name is Gordon BLAIR. It's a law firm. It's fun because at the time Gordon Brown was Chancellor of the Exchequer and Tony Blair was Prime Minister. So of my friends congratulated myself, telling me, you are very clever. You have a name which is easy to remember. Actually, Gordon Blair was founded in the 50s, so it's a very old Monaco institution. And Mr. Blair, Gordon Stanley Blair, retired in the 90s, and again I bought the firm after Ernst & Young, who were first acquired. Anyway, I made this investment, and for me, initially it was a private equity investment, and I'm a lawyer. I used to run a practice in Geneva, Paris, and London, actually, and Monaco was just an investment, and really Monaco grew on me not for the quality of life, actually for the quality of life, but as a place to do business, as a place to develop business. Because, as I said before, Monaco is very, actually business-friendly, and it's much more than a tax haven for ultra-high net worth individual. It's a great place for developing a business, up to the point where I closed my London practice, I closed my Geneva practice, I closed my Paris practice, and currently I'm just in Monaco, and I have a small, let's say, investment in Vaduz, Liechtenstein, which allows me to compare Liechtenstein with Monaco, which is interesting in terms of small, let's say, offshore places, if you will. So I'm here today to talk about, again, as an investor, as the managing partner and the owner of the largest law firm in Monaco, and the legal business is legal where really artificial intelligence should thrive, you know. And the reason for that is because in a business like mine, let's face it, more than 50% of my business is simple, repetitive. It is just, again, simple questions, how to start a business in Monaco, immigration process, family governance. All this, frankly, is not very original. Does not require genius. It requires know-how, common sense. And so this is an area where really artificial intelligence should provide a lot of value, especially in view of the challenge I have, which I stressed earlier today, which is the challenge of attracting and retaining people in Monaco. And for me, this is one of the only weak points of Monaco as a country to do business, which is it is difficult to attract and retain new good talents there for a variety of reasons. And certainly IA is a way for me of meeting to some extent that challenge.
Well, we're going to get more into that conversation, I think. By the way, I am Rhett. I run a global executive coaching agency and a leadership firm. But I'm here in my capacity as at Forbes and also for Rolling Stone. So on that note, let's get into the questions. Monaco's known for regulation, stringent regulation, but high standards. And talk about how does entrepreneurship thrive in that kind of environment? And can you shed some light on that?
Well, for me,
It's also, I mean, it's known as a great place to do business.
no, but you know, the reason why I think entrepreneurship can thrive in Monaco is because developing a business wherever you are depends obviously on your needs, access to capital market, communication, stability, taxation, well, a series of factors, if you will. And in Europe, one factor which is important, and you should not be repeated, is social and labor law. And Monaco is a great place for that because Monaco is a place where I would say social and labor law is similar to what you could find in the UK, which is a country which is well known for being quite flexible and business friendly, or even to Switzerland. Switzerland also is a place where, again, but certainly it doesn't compare to France or to other countries like that. And I think, indeed, in today's world, we need flexibility as businessmen. We need the possibility to adjust to rapidly changing environment, new challenges like technology, IA, and certainly, I would say, frozen situation with the labor force is something which does not encourage us and does not make the business thriving. And again, one of the reasons why Monaco is so good and so attractive, I would say, for developing a business is that apart from a series of reasons, social labor law, let's say, is very good.
Yes, thank you, Xavier, for this precision. Maybe I will give you one or two data. So 217,000 euro is the GDP per capita in the Principality of Monaco if you take in consideration only the resident people. If you take into consideration all the people working for the Principality and with the Principality, we are talking about more or less 100,000 euro per capita, which is a demonstration of what is the activity in the Principality. Financial activities now represent about 18% of the GDP in the Principality. And as Xavier said, what is very important for the Principality and for developing the activity in Principality is the fact that we can collaborate and we have intelligence in this collaboration with outside situation. So the activity and the financial activity in Monaco is not only a concept, it's a reality, in fact.
So one of the things I'm curious about, you look at what has happened in Portugal and other places where they've tried to attract entrepreneurs and young people to come and start businesses. Is Monaco trying to do that and attract? I mean, we're talking about Monaco's a very established place. Is it a place for young entrepreneurs to come and start a business? And is that attractive to Monaco?
So there are a lot of points, a positive element to attract people in Monaco. One of the first points should rely on the location of the Principality, which is a place where you can move easily from Principality of Monaco to everywhere in Europe. So this is the first element. Another element which is very important is the infrastructure that we have in Monaco. Monaco was the first country to adapt the 5G for the phones, and where we have the fibers installed for everybody. So these are concrete elements to attract people. What Xavier talked about was to retain the talent, and retain the talent needs effectively to have and to offer other things than the infrastructure. This is a real question.
No, I mean, definitely. I mean, people. Let's say at Forbes, whenever you try to recruit and attract people from London, Paris, Geneva, people are very attracted. I mean, sea, sex, and sun is great in Monaco. Okay,
it's hard not to be attracted.
but when they think of it, they realize that the cost of housing is very high. That the children, when they grow up, more or less they will have to go to Milan or to elsewhere, but they won't be able to really study, I would say, in Monaco or in Nice. So there are a lot of obstacles. And also, let's face it. I mean, Monaco is very provincial. it's a great city, but a bit provincial. It's a small community. But I would complement what you said by not only is the technology good, but also you have to be aware that Nice airport is the second largest airport in France. And from Nice, you can commute virtually everywhere. I mean, certainly in Europe, everywhere, London, Paris. But even Middle East, you know, you have several flights every day between Nice and the Middle East. And I think for younger people, especially new businesses where they have to communicate, and in spite of remote working, face-to-face contact is important. This unique situation of Monaco is great. As I said before, you know, I'm a partner in a business in Vaduz here. Also, I have friends in Andorra. I mean, all those places are great, but only Monaco can offer this, I don't know, easiness, I would say, of communication. So when you add this to, and this is just business-wise, okay? When you add this to what is great from a personal lifestyle, and which is stability, security, cleanliness, friendly community, blah, blah, blah. I think clearly it's a great place. And for me, it's a bit of a challenge again. We people, I mean, you have to break the prejudice of Monaco being just a place for wealthy people. And I think it's much more than that. And even for younger generation, indeed, housing is expensive, indeed. But not only can you actually live in France or Italy, which is close by, at the expense of commuting time. But also even in Monaco, I mean, acquiring real estate is expensive, but frankly, not much more than in the best neighborhoods of London or even places like in Switzerland, Zermatt or Verbier, which are resorts, but you need that the prices are very similar to Monaco. So this is a bit, this is true, but it is not, is one of the most expensive places in the world, but everything is relative. But certainly when it comes to renting, it is expensive, but frankly, the differential between what you pay in Monaco and what you would pay in a big capital is not that much. And again, I know what I'm talking about because I have a place in London, I have a place in Geneva. I can compare London, Geneva, Monaco. Really, the difference is not that big. And for business, commercial real estate, I pay less in Monaco. My firm is the Gildo Pastor Center in the business district in Monaco. I pay less in Monaco than I do in Geneva at the business center of the airport, I mean the World Trade Center of the airport. So actually Monaco is cheaper when it comes to commercial renting, not cheaper when it comes to housing renting, but expensive, but I would say reasonably expensive. And yes, it is expensive when it comes to acquiring housing.
What's the environment like? Is it easy to start a business? Is it easy? Are investors? Is it an attractive place for investors to spend their money? Talk a little bit about the environment and how easy is it to operate in the country?
If I can, because you know, I'm going to flatter you. Because what is good in Monaco, I think, is because Monaco is a small country. Even the authorities, the size of the, let's say, the official departments is limited. And they have the tendency to outsource, if you will, some of what they do to, let's say, outside bodies. Like your body, for me, is very strong, very powerful, and very helpful when it comes to helping and assisting businesses wanting to develop, let's say, business in the financial service area, something which usually would be done in other countries by, let's say, the Ministry of Finance. It is delegated to them, and they are very helpful. They are very reactive, very proactive, you know. When it comes to tax audit, it's about the same, you know, because the tax authorities in Monaco are small, and actually it's the statutory auditors who do most of the work. And so, you know, Monaco is actually it's a nimble country, maybe out of necessity because it is a small country, so everybody has to cooperate, to work together. So back to your question, what is good is that if you want to start a business in Monaco, you can go and talk to Mr. LAURE, you can go and talk to other, bodies, you will have a quick answer, and you will get guidance. Now, all this being said, it is true that Monaco is a very stable and, let's say, a country where security of law is very high, but this is at the expense of a very strict, let's say, screening process when you establish yourself in Monaco. And be it as an individual, where it is burdensome, you know, and you have the police department who looks at your situation. And for a business, it is, frankly, it can be grueling because it takes months, literally, to get, because everything is subject to authorization in Monaco, okay? If you want to set up, let's say, as a hairdresser, you have to apply for authorization. You want to set up, obviously, as a bank, you have, for everything, you have to apply for authorization. Nothing is allowed, I would say. Which means that whatever you want to do in Monaco, you have to ask for the authorization, okay? And this may be a little bit grueling, okay? Including when you want to set up a company in Monaco, you are here in Switzerland, in 48 hours you can set up a company, it's done. In the UK, 48 hours. In Monaco, it's 2 months. And so, you know, sometimes, okay. But you can navigate, and this is, as a counterpart, it's very safe, very stable, and everything is done in a very friendly and manner.
That's correct. That's the price of the security and stability,
Yeah.
of course. The fact is that Monaco is a pro-business country, that's for sure. Now, how does it apply? It applies with capacity of the Principality and the dimension of the Principality, which means that we cannot imagine that in the Principality everybody can come and develop a business without any procedure or surveillance before. So this is a point, and this for sure needs sometimes, but they are struggling to the government to reduce this time. Now they are talking about 34 days, and the last as the last observation. But one element important is how to develop and maintain the activity in the Principality. So to maintain the activity in the Principality is very easy, and what is very important, and for that I will talk about the financial activity, is that you can develop your activity, your intellectual activity in the Principality for financial products which are located outside of the Principality. And this is a very important and a very strong opportunity for investors to come in Monaco. Just an example for the financial activity in the Principality. Now we have 26 different banks, but we have 66 financial companies.
Is it easy to set up things like family trust and corporations that people can protect their assets and to do international?
On trust, Monaco has always been, let's say, at the forefront of countries recognizing trusts and defending trust, to the point that in 63 there was a law in Monaco which said that foreign trusts are enforceable, they are recognizable, they are recognized and enforceable in Monaco, provided the jurisdictions to which the settler belong do recognize trust, which means that all the people from Anglo-Saxon countries basically could come to Monaco and set up trusts, and those trusts would be recognized and enforceable. Okay, so this is why sometimes people talk about Monaco Trust. They are not Monaco Trust. There is no Monaco. There is no Monaco Trust, properly speaking. But all the trusts set up and created and settled outside of Monaco are fully recognized by Monaco, either as a result of this law, again dating back from 63, or simply because Monaco ratified and signed and ratified the Hague Convention, whereas many European countries like France, they did sign, but it's not ratified. Okay, Monaco ratified and signed, which means that whoever is a Monaco resident can set up a trust, and this trust will be valid, will be recognized, enforceable. It will have to be, obviously, it will have to be a foreign trust, by definition, because there is no Monaco trust, but it will be recognized, you know. And so it is, let's say, an asset protection tool, the succession, or whatever, I mean, whatever the purpose is, asset protection, succession planning, blah, 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 privacy, which is recognized in Monaco and enforceable. And actually, the authorities are familiar. So when you go to the Monaco authorities, you tell them, I want to set up a trust, they will understand what you are talking about. I'm not sure it is the case in many civil law countries, generally speaking. They don't know what a trust is about. They confuse this with a fiduciary agreement, with whatever nominee agreement. They don't understand the particularities, what makes the trust so special. Monaco, they do. They do. And again, I said before that the authorities were small, but in spite of being small, they are competent and they know that. And obviously the banks do.
So it's attractive for family offices and
Yes, for many of actually up to the point where, you know, in Monaco, oftentimes people say holding companies are not allowed in Monaco. Okay, it's true that back in '63, when General de Gaulle put a lot of pressure on Prince Régnier for putting an end to some tax exemptions, there was a negotiation whereby the Monaco authorities had to accept that there would not be any longer holding companies in Monaco, okay? And this is why when you talk to around you, you say, okay, what about Monaco? People will tell you, well, Monaco, the problem is that you cannot set up a holding company. Actually, this is not true. This is not true because precisely if you have a family office and the Monaco authorities are very, very favorable to single family offices. And here again, they know what they are talking about. If you want to set up a single family office, frankly, myself, I keep making comparisons between the UK, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Monaco. Monaco is by far one of the best places for setting a single family office. And if you have a single family office in Monaco, definitely you can have assets underlying, and actually you can have a holding company. Again, do not repeat it because the French will not be happy. But you can have as a single family office. Well, you know, which is logical because single means single, which is it is as if you would be a resident in Monaco, and why would you be prevented from running your investments from Monaco? So this is the philosophy. You have a single family office, even though it is a corporate legal form, it is you. Otherwise, it would not be a single family office, okay? It would be an investment company. So it's a single family office, and then indeed you can run, manage, oversee your assets. So definitely Monaco is a great place for setting up family offices.
No, correct. This is a collaboration that we talked about before, and the intelligence of this collaboration, which is very important. And we can add on this that in the Principality you have the political stability, the financial stability, which are very important, and you have all professionals installed in the Principality. We're talking about Gordon Blair, for example. You need information. You have people well aware and well prepared to help you to stay in Monaco and develop in Monaco.
Do you see what do you see the next 4 years as Europe has many elections? I mean, the UK just had an election, but that's not going so well for the current party. We just had a big change in the United States. With all of this political churn and turmoil, is that an opportunity for Monaco?
It's always an opportunity. Well, it's always an opportunity because of the dimension. You only need to have some 10 people coming in Monaco, and 10 people makes a difference. This is a fact. So when you observe turmoil outside around the world, for geopolitical point of view, for fiscal point of view, for economic point of view, people tend to find a safe haven where to stay, where to place investment, and where to run business. And Monaco is part of the first choices, of course.
Well, I can comment as an observer, okay? Over the last 20 years, I have seen the evolving, I would say, profile of the people moving to Monaco. 20 years ago, yes, it was a mix of nationality, wealthy people, families, etc. So then we have seen a flow of people from Greece, then Turkey, then Middle East, then Central Europe. Now, frankly, it's coming from everywhere. It's true that probably as a result of geopolitical instability, maybe as a result of increasing pressure in the developed world for raising more taxes. I mean, the UK with the end of the non-dom regime, blah, blah, blah. Indeed, over the last 3-4 years, a lot of people have been coming and of a higher level in terms of wealth. It's interesting. And this is combined also with an effort from the authorities to be stricter, to be more credible, and maybe under the pressure of OECD, etc. But the fact of the matter is that I would say the Monaco authorities are, and they are right, I mean, screening very carefully the people who come to Monaco so that their move, their residence is real, is credible. And let me give you an example. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you could get a Monaco residence permit, renting a maid's room or nothing, it was okay. Now, the Monaco authorities, they are serious. They say, okay, if you want to come to Monaco, if you want to benefit from the Monaco, let's say, environment, you have to be serious. You have to be Monaco resident in earnest. And typically they say, okay, what? You are married, you have 2 children, I'm sorry. Unless you show me that you have at your disposal, let's say, a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom apartment, you won't be granted residence permit. So Monaco is clearly a very credible country. The Monaco authorities are aware of that, and they do whatever they can to be more and more serious and credible. And this is great, you know. If you allow me just 1 minute, recently I made a speech. The question I was asked was, what is the future of tax haven? And my conclusion at the time was, tax havens are doomed. They are doomed because, you know, usually you move to a tax haven in an artificial manner, in Bermuda, in whatever, blah, in those exotic countries. Actually, you don't live there, and to some extent you cheat. And tax havens are doomed, except for the tax havens which are not artificial. Mm-hmm. I mean tax havens where you can live and which are credible, and because you know that today you cannot cheat any longer because of the credit cards, because of the telephone. So tax havens are doomed, all the funny islands, and the only tax haven which will survive and thrive are the tax havens which are livable and where you live, actually. And for me, this is typically Monaco. Monaco is one of the very few tax havens, I wouldn't say in the world, but certainly in Europe, where you can live, you can enjoy life, you can spend time, and you can be protected, actually, from potential attacks from other authorities. And the Monaco authorities are very good at that because they are aware of that, and they are not compromising. And I would say once they stamp your resident status, I think the authorities outside of Monaco, they know that if someone has been granted amenity status, has been granted a tax certificate, it is serious. I would not say that they would not dare attacking, but I think they know it is serious and it is real. And this is one of the many reasons why Monaco has been attracting more and more people of late, because it's an excellent protection, it is livable. I mean, again, it's great. I'm sorry, I'm not a Monaco national, so I cannot be reproached to sell my country. I'm Swiss, but you know.
Thank you. Thank you. I've got dozens more questions, but our time is unfortunately over. Gentlemen, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And stay right here. We have another panel right now. Oh, no.